Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, MLO, Master League Online, Marcus Mafia, and like I said in the last episode, I was going to try something new at the beginning of this episode, so today's goal counter is 7. It should be on the screen right now, but 7. Basically the goal counter shows off how many goals are in this episode. Of course, there's only 2 matches, so with that being said, there should be 3.5 goals in each match, which is nice. But some people actually have been inboxing me asking why there is no music at this point when I'm looking at the menu screen. And the reason for that is because I do not have the unlicensed music to play through PES 2014. For example, I have the likes of Red Hot Chili Peppers and Kasabian and Metallica and Daft Punk and Calvin Harris, but of course that music is all copyrighted, so of course I would get every episode copyright banned. So I could potentially put music in here, but the music is so ridiculously bad that I cannot find any good music to have in the background. So with that being said, in the first match of this episode, he's against a guy who has Ajax as his team, and difference in team strength, small, inverted commas, small. But I think that's a lot of bullcrap, because when you actually look at his squad is actually really good. Really goddamn good. You didn't really see it much there, but his likes like Gale and Bernat at left back, and he has Anita and whatnot in midfield. So he had a relatively decent, he actually had a really strong side. Then the 10th minute of the match here, Bednar gets the ball here, plays it to Mattia Vidra. Vidra takes a couple touches around the corner. It really fortunately comes straight to me, I just pop it in the back of the net. So I sort of went forward again about 10 minutes later, like maybe looking for another goal, and Butner here just runs down, just keeps running into the box. Nothing stopping him, Butner gets a shot away, and it's a really good save from his goalkeeper. So it comes again to me with Ricardo Fati. I was going to maybe take a shot with him. I'm not really sure why I didn't take a shot with him. Sevilla cannot get a shot away. And this guy was under a lot of pressure at the beginning of this match, because of course, not just pressure in terms of actually me playing well, but in terms of actually him deserving to maybe win the game, because of course he's got a better team than me. But I mean, I fell the player on the half-time mark, and it was receiving treatment and all that sort of crap. I don't really understand that receiving treatment, because they receive treatment, and if they go off the field, you substitute them and then they're back the next game. So I don't understand what the problem is. But this guy took a really long time with this free kick. I don't know what he was really doing. Was he trying to perfect it? But he hits it low into the bottom, tries to play it to Dwight Gale. Doesn't really work. Collison tries to clear the ball. Poor clearance from Collison. Comes straight to Gale. And again, Gale actually gets a throw-in from it. If I remember correctly, nothing actually comes from this throw-in, because he throws it into play, tries to cross it in, and he actually fails, because I just threw the ball. Butner, yeah. Because basically, like, I sort of noticed how good Butner actually is. I think it's Alex Butner, but I'm not sure. But Butner is a very good player, and getting the relatively poor pass completion percentage from myself at halftime of 60%. Of course, I only had 39% of the ball. But into the second half, and this guy, I sort of noticed that he had Kuroki playing up front, and I was fine with it. I was fine with his team in general. But for some ridiculous reason, he could run through my team without me getting the ball at all. And you'll see this happen several times. For example, here. Okay, so he has the ball with Kuroki, plays it back to Rodriguez. Then Fati steals it, and then, for example, he just gets it here. And he's playing the ball about, so relatively decent passing about and whatnot. And then, like, for some reason, my defenders just run all over the place, and Anita pops it in the back of the net. And then into the literal last minutes of the match here. And he plays it, and for some reason none of my players decide to intercept it, and he pops it in the back of the net. So I was so ridiculously pissed off with that I actually lost the game 3-1. So there's 4 of your goals, so 3 goals in the second game. That basically sort of spoils it a bit. But does it mean I win 3-0, or do I lose 2-1, or do I win 2-1, or is it like a 2, I don't know, like 1.5 goals? No, I don't know, maybe 1.25, no, 1.75 goals each? I don't know. Well, you'll find out soon enough, because the game's about to start. But of course, with the difference in team strength and all that sort of crap, I was really pissed off. So I just got rid of Bednar straight away. I was like, Bednar, get straight to hell. You're going home. So he went home. And I went out and bought Federico Macheda, the former Manchester United, or the current Manchester United player who's on loan in Serie A, if I remember correctly. I think he's still a Man United player. But yeah, big Federico Macheda, who basically, if he wasn't for him, they would not have won the league in 2010, I think. The one where he scored the goals against Aston Villa and Sunderland. And without those goals, they basically wouldn't have won the league. Yeah. So, bought basically the hero of Manchester United for whatever particular season it was. My God, there's so much football in the last like 8 years that there's so many moments I just can't remember them all. But basically, I went against this guy in the second match and final match of this episode, and he had a very good team. It was a very balanced team. He was very strong in midfield and strong up front as well. So I was sort of expecting a difficult match, and I got what I expected, really. I mean, he had some 80 rated players like Fernandinho in midfield and that, but Vidra here gets the ball, runs past Gilberto Silva, gets a shot away. It's a really good save from his goalkeeper, and Gilberto Silva actually clears it. And Gilberto Silva is an absolute legend in football. In my personal opinion, I think he's probably was one of my most favourite Arsenal players, and then he left, and then he was still a favourite Arsenal player because he's just an absolute beast. But Jordan Henderson here gets a shot away. It's a really good save from Cato, and it comes straight to no one really because I clear it, and that was at. So at half time it was 0-0 between the two sides, and sort of like I'd played really well, but I hadn't really had a lot of the game had been very, very, very even. But it comes to the 78th minute here, and basically with like 10 minutes remaining, and he decided to make some changes. So he paused the game, and after my offside decision, which was a blatant offside, I don't really know why I passed it so late. But he paused the game, and I think he went to a more attacking formation, and it sort of backfired completely. Okay, because basically from this, I got the ball with Ricardo Fati here, ran through a couple players, didn't really get the ball away, but gave it to Barami, and eventually I do get it here with Charlie Mulgrew. Mulgrew just ran with it, and for some reason he didn't really mark any of my players, so Vidra gets it, plays it back to the on-rushing Charlie Mulgrew, and Mulgrew actually crosses it in here, and he has a really good, like, accurate cross to Makeda. Makeda heads it down to Sevilla. Sevilla gets it past Gilberto Silva and just volleys it into the back of the net like an absolute animal. But from kickoff, he basically got the ball and tried to run forward with Golaska, just pushed him off the ball. Sevilla, I was like, nope, not having this. He sort of kept his back line a little bit open here as Makeda runs past. It fortunately comes actually back to Vidra, who just, I mean, I'm not saying it's not fortunate, and I didn't really deserve, if I'm being honest, I did not deserve to win 3-0 in this match at all. I mean, of course, the third goal, he just gives it to me because I think he was just done. He couldn't be bothered playing anymore, and as you can see here, I just sort of quickened it up because it got to the point where I don't think he really cared about the game, and I didn't really care because, of course, I would basically won. I was secured victory. So with a 3-0 win, I was a bit disappointed because he was a good player, and it was really unfortunate that he actually missed out on beating me because he probably deserved to beat me. But Sevilla got man of the match with 7.5 rating, and if you did like this goal counter thing, I probably won't do it in the next episode. I'll probably do it in maybe the episode after that. I'll see to sort of gauge the reaction and whatnot. But if you have enjoyed this episode of Mask League Online, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.